Hi, this is Bob from WAMS Tech, and today I'm going to show you a neat little feature in Haiku called Handouts. And what it does is it lets you take an existing document in your Google Drive and turn it into a template for students to use, fill out, and return to you. For example, if I go here within my class to Activities, Assignments, I can create for myself a brand new assignment that the kids will then see when they sign into Haiku. And I'll call it sample assignment. All right. If I have a rubric that I use, I can attach it here. Here I can put down the instructions for assignment. All right. Put a due date if I want to. And then under display options, I want to show in Dropbox. That allows students then to submit this assignment online. So they're submitting a document in return for me to grade. Okay, and then here I'm going to attach from Google Drive. And it's going to search my Google Drive. And I'm going to go ahead and find this document that I want to use. Here. This is a HyperDoc. A HyperDoc is basically a document that contains links and multimedia and instructions for the kids to fill out. So it's basically like an online worksheet or handout, but it's interactive, right? You'll see an example of it in just a second. I'll click select, all right? And then here, since it's a Google Doc, I have a couple different options for share mode. So by default, it's a read-only, which means they can open it up and they can view it, but they can't do anything with it. I want to keep it that way because I don't want them messing up my original document. If that's not your intent, if you want them editing this document for class notes purposes or for them to contribute something to the document, then you can change the share mode from read-only to comment. So they're only commenting on the things that you have inside. You can have them collaborate, which means the entire class can edit and add to that single document. Or I can make this a PDF rather than a Google document. But for this purpose, I'm going to leave it as read-only. But the magic comes in when I click on Handout, and you'll see what that does in just a second. Basically, the kids are going to get their own copy of this document now for them to fill out and then return to me. All right, I click on Save to save my assignment. Okay. And then here's a student who's in my class, Mr. John Doe. Okay, if I refresh this page here and go to my class, okay, I can see now that I have on my calendar this assignment called Sample Handout, right? If I open up the class and go to Activities and then Assignments for the student, he'll be able to see this assignment as well. So here's the one I just finished creating, this sample assignment. Okay. If I open up the assignment, right, the students can see what the instructions are, when the due date is, and they also have this attachment, the Life is Short HyperDoc. And if they open up this document here, they'll see my copy, my original. But next to it, since I made it a handout, they have the option now to make a copy. So if they select make a copy, they'll now have a version of this document in their Google Drive, and it has their name appended on it. So now basically I created this document for the student, I titled it, I put in the content, I even helped them rename the document with their name, and all they have to do now is fill it out and submit it to me. And they would submit it by editing this document and then handing it in. All right, so let's take a look at the document. I go ahead and open it up, and within this document I have a bunch of instructions and basically a template for them to fill out. Right, so they'll read the instructions, they'll click on these links to find more options, right, to see more examples, and then I have some instructions here for them to fill out. So each of them will write a life story in only 6 words. So they have to come up with a 6-word biography about themselves, right? So here they're typing in their work with 6 sentences, right? They have some examples. And this could be for math, social studies, English, science, whatever it happens to be, right? They can go on and they can keep on filling out their worksheet, so to speak, right? And then when they're done, they go to hand it in, and they'll hand in their document. They're going to attach it from Google Drive. So select it, and then they'll select hand in, and that's it. And so then I, the teacher, can now see, if I go to sample assignment, and go to the Dropbox, I can see of all the students in my class, John Doe turned it in, so I can quickly see who's turned it in and who hasn't. I can click on his name and see his document. Here I can open it up in Google Drive, and I can make comments on it and so forth here. If I want to, I can also open it in Annotator. And what that does is it brings up the document, not in Google Docs, but it brings the document within Haiku. And it gives me some different annotation features. Here I can highlight different portions. Right? I can go to his work here, and I can make comments on some of the words that he said. All right, here's my comment on this word. I can draw over it. All right, I can enter in some notes here. This works really well when you're on the iPad and the handwriting is a little bit more natural, right? Or I can just put in text comments here. Here's a text comment, right? And then when I'm done, I can mark this as reviewed so that for my own purposes, let me know that I've seen this one and I've checked it. And then I can hand it back to the student. If I wanted to, I can also hand back to all the students all at once I've reviewed them all here, but to hand back reviewed files. As the student, I can now see that my teacher has left me some feedback. Right, with the teacher notes. I can view it live or I can download them. And here I see the things that the teachers highlighted, the comments that they made, the notes that they made, and the text comments that they made. And I can take this now and I can make edits and so forth. All right, so it's a really cool way to go paperless in your classroom by having students submit documents to you. You can create those templates ahead of time for the students. You can still do all of your either handwritten notes or text notes for the student, and without having a single piece of paper being created. Right. And if you want to say, well, how does it work from student to student? Again, it's really easy. If I start with one student, I can see their submission. When I'm done, I just click on the next student arrow, and I go to the next student, I grade it, I go to the next student, I grade it, go to the next student, and grade it, and this is all done within the same tab. Okay, so I'm not opening up other tabs or anything. It's not taking me to different websites. I don't have to have a shuffle of papers to deal with, right? I just have the one tab that I'm working in at any given point. All right, if you have any questions, feel free to email me at robert.petito@woodward.edu. Thanks for watching.